Namaste, Hare Krishna. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishtaha matta smriti jnanam apohanam cha vedecha sarvair ahameva vedyaha vedantakrit vedavideva chaham. This sloka comes in the 15th chapter, where Krishna says he is situated in everyone's heart. That includes Agni, Chandra, all the entities. Dwelling in the heart, he makes everything function through his sankalpa. From him arise memory, knowledge, lack of knowledge, etc. He alone to be known through the Vedas. The fruits the Vedas speaks are granted only by him. And Krishna says, I alone, the knower of the Vedas. In glorification of this chapter, Lord Shiva narrates an historic event. There was a king of Gauda Desha by name Kripana Narasimha. He ruled well. Even the Devatas were very happy, and all his enemies were terrified by his power. The king had a head of his army by name Sarapaperunda. He was a wretched person with bad nature. He plotted to kill the king and become the king himself. But as the fruit of his sinful deeds, due to his karma, he died of some disease. He was reborn as a horse in the Sindhu Desha. A merchant bought the horse and sold it at a good price to the same king Narasimha. The king was very old by then. He did not know that his commander-in-chief has been born as a horse and has come back to him. However, the horse knew it. The horse was full of remorse about the sin committed in the previous birth and the punishment received. The horse was thinking, I am born as a horse who has to carry on my back the very person I was plotting to kill. The Lord has awarded me a proper punishment. Hereafter, I should never indulge in such sinful deeds. The horse was thinking on these lines. One day, the king Narasimha went for a hunt in the forest, riding on the very same horse. He rode very far chasing a tiger. The sun was scorching and the king was unbearably thirsty. Whichever way he went, he just could not find water. After a long period searching for water, he came near an ashrama. He tied the horse to a tree nearby and was about to walk to the ashram. At that very moment, a leaf of the tree fell on the horse. The leaf had some letters written on it. The king picked up the leaf and read them. On hearing it, the horse died at once. A light emerged from the body of the horse and rose up into the sky. Seeing all this, the king was exceedingly wonderstruck and was confused as well. The king went to the ashram and requested for some water. After quenching his thirst, the king narrated in detail all that took place to the sage who lived there and requested to be enlightened. The sage told the king who the horse indeed was. And the sage said one of his disciples had written on that leaf the 15th verse of the 15th chapter. And what the king read is that verse in the 15th chapter, which was heard by the horse, and the horse met with a good end. The curious king asked a wonderful question to the sage. If by just hearing of that sloka, the horse got liberated from the body, why the same thing did not happen to me when I read it the sage replied. The horse recalled its sinful deeds time and again and repented. The horse was yearning to cast off its body and kept praying to the Lord for His grace. That is why, on hearing the words, it could attain a good end. You did not get it because you have not yet reached that ripe state to consider your own position in this material world. Realizing the greatness of the 15th chapter, the king requested the sage to teach him also, and the sage graciously did so. The king installed his son on the throne and went back to the forest. There he constantly chanted the 15th chapter with great devotion and concentration. Attaining perfection in it, he too came to a good end. This chapter speaks how Krishna is distinct and different in every way from other entities. And repeatedly in Vedas and other authoritative works, it is said Krishna is the greatest person. Purushottama, chapter 13, 14 and 15 discusses about Chit, Achit and Ishvara, the sentient being, non-sentient and the supreme controller. And the supreme Lord, who is Purushottama, is Ishvara. He is the controller of both Chit and Achit, and he is greater and totally different than Baddhatmas, Muktatmas and even Nityatmas. Greatness of Krishna explained in great detail in this chapter. Namaste. Hare Krishna.